Alright guys, for today I have another classical build, old school build, one of my favorites as well. This is a Power Reaper. So it's not the most common build you're gonna find, but I still managed to find some people running this. And even after many years, this still does pretty well in my opinion. And because I really like those more of a high risk, high reward type of builds like glass cannon builds. So the base idea behind this build is to generate as much as possible life force and get in shrouds. And then all you have to do is mostly just spam the auto attack basically in shroud. Of course, you have other options, other things that you're going to use situationally, but for DPS purposes and cleaving, you want to be spamming basically the auto attack as much as possible. And the other things are just going to supplement this. Back in the days, I remember I was spamming a bit Soul Spiral, spinning ability, which was also doing pretty decent damage. Also, it does have slightly bigger range, radius. However, today I see that it's not as efficient. You would probably want to use this only when you have a lot of targets around you, probably even down targets. So you want to like cleave as much as possible. But I would suggest to run auto attacks. The second shroud ability, Death Charge, you'd want to use to escape or get into the target. Also, it does final damage that's actually pretty decent as well. You can combine it with the auto attack as well, kind of like burst. The ability number 3, the third ability, if using terror, you would want to use this mostly to get the damage reduction. That's 20%. Plus you get stability, which is pretty decent, but also you can combine it and use it second time to activate Fear, which is just additional crowd control, which is pretty good. And the final ability, Executioner Sight. Now, this used to do a lot of damage as well in PvP, but now it's just for PvE. And technically in PvP, it doesn't do damage. I think that was like many years ago. They changed all the crowd control abilities to do almost insignificant damage, basically. So you only want to do this basically just for additional crowd control. So you want to be careful when you use that. Most of the other things are just oriented into getting as much damage as possible. You're a glass cannon, so you don't want to stand in big fights for too long. However, as a Reaper, naturally just have like a second HP bar, basically. That's why it's not too bad. As a glass cannon, you're pretty durable considering that you just have like double HP bars, basically. That's almost 20k HP as base, plus about 16,000 life force. Combined together, you have 36,000 HP altogether. Of course, gradually lose life force while in Shroud, but it is pretty decent in my opinion. As you can see, we're using Spite, Soul Reaping, and Reaper, obviously. All of those things are just going for maximum damage, especially like stuff like Close to Death, when you're just increasing your damage to targets below 50% HP. Basically stuff like that, just to maximize damage. Soul Marks are actually pretty decent. On this build, we're running Staff. So Soul Marks would be ideal in this situation because you make them unblockable, plus they'll just additionally generate life force, and we want to generate as much life force as possible. And generally speaking, Soul Reaping is just gonna add more into your shrouds, and all these other things are just for more damage regardless. As for utility skills, I figured out that your Soul is Mine is ideal for this situation. It does some heal, plus it generates additional life force. Double wells here. I found that this is also pretty decent because we can just stay at range. You want to be poking as much as possible from a distance. Before you get into fight, you want to generate maximum life force and just kind of like exhaust your enemies as much as possible. So wells do pretty good in this situation. I tried other things, but this seems like pretty decent. So this is going to be Well of Suffering, which is actually the I think the highest damage well that you can have. Plus it's applying vulnerability. This one is unblockable as well. Then you have Well of Darkness, which is also doing pretty decent damage, but then on top of that we have something really interesting, which is blindness basically, and also applying Chill. Chill is also synergizing with Reaper in general, so that's pretty good. For a break stun, I have Spectral Armor, which is also just great for extra life force on top of everything else. For the elite skill, I have used the Flash Golem before, which seemed to be okay, but to me, it's a lot of prep, it's kind of like slow. And these days, I'm just mostly using Chill to the Bone. It's very slow cast, but it gives you a lot of benefits. Plus, it's massive stun. It's very big radius as well. So I think this is actually pretty good. It's doing fine with me. As for the weapons, like I said, we're using staff, so this is for long range. This is the highest range weapon you can have. For Necromancer, that's 1200 range. And for the other section, which is like, I would say the most common thing you would be using, obviously in close combat, outside of Shroud, you want to be using main dagger, and offhand is Warhorn. The reason I use Warhorn for offhand is because we don't have too many boons on ourselves. So this is one of the easiest way to get swiftness, at least for a while. And the auto attacks from the dagger are actually generating life force, the second and the third of the chain, which is pretty good as well. I feel like this is just pretty much the easiest setup you can have. I haven't tried the new weapons here. They might be also pretty decent. I'm just looking at them, the sword, main and offhand. This might be really interesting for Necromancer, but I haven't got to this part yet. So maybe in the future I'm going to try that, and who knows, maybe it's going to be even better. But for the purpose of the video, I just made this old school build that I used to play, and it's actually doing pretty good in my opinion. I'm gonna have a showcase of this in PvP as well as World versus World, which is very similar build, basically absolutely the same. The only difference would be some of the Sidious runes and stuff like that, but it's generally the same thing. So I'll just show you. Basically, this is the PvP setup, which we have Berserker, obviously for maximum damage. Here I have Relic of Durability, which seem to be doing just fine, considering that we don't have much boons on ourselves, so this is like okay. There might be something better, technically for more DPS, but I feel like this is doing pretty good. We don't have too many long cooldown skills, so I'll just use that. But you can have something else that's doing even more damage if you want. The rune is Rune of Ego for extra critical chance and ferocity for extra critical damage, basically. I have found that it may be even better if you can push to slightly higher crit chance, because with this and getting Fury, I think I'm getting to around, basically in Shroud, we get extra critical damage. Once you get Fury, you get to about close to 9%, it's like 86%. So you can push a bit higher as well, that would be great. You want to do as much criticals as possible, especially in Shroud, that's going to be doing a lot of damage. You can just almost one-shot people, basically. Your auto attacks are incredibly powerful, especially with Might. So for the main Sidious on the dagger and Warhorn, we have Sidious of Courage for getting Might, plus Sidious of Exploitation for extra damage on targets below 50%, which is even better, which is executing things. And for the staff, we have, again, Exploitation, because you might be in Shroud, so you'd apply, no matter which one you have, go in Shroud, use the Exploitation. Plus, we have Sidious of Cleansing, just so we can clear a bit of conditions. So once again, this is a glass cannon, so you don't want to be tanking. You don't want to be staying in a big fight. You want to get in and get out, do a lot of damage, cleave a lot of enemies, and that's it. You have some small options to survive, but not too much, even though you have Shrouds. Keep that in mind. For World vs. World, things are not much different, as you can see. You can play around with the runes as well. This one is Golemancer, which is giving us ferocity and precision. Then for Sidious, I'm running here Sidious of Air and Sidious of Accuracy for additional critical chance. And here's Sidious of Force and critical chance once again. So like I said, very similar thing. I'm running absolutely the same build here, Reaper DPS power. It says PvE because it's universal. You can use it in PvE easily. So yeah, that's about the build. I'm gonna have a showcase of the performance of this for both PvP and World vs. World, so you can see how it goes. So yeah, that's like a very old school build. I really love it. It's just my style. I just wanna get in a fight, do something, you know, more significant, obviously, like do a lot of damage and get out as much as possible. And you know, it's just high risk, so you'll be dying often, but you'll be killing often as well. And of course, it's a team play build. There are classes that will counter you easily, but when it comes to the fun factor, I would say that this is hell a lot of fun, because you're simply just sometimes just wiping almost the whole enemy team if you properly time your attacks and pay attention to your teammates as well as the enemy team. If you're doing it wrong, if you are too hasty, if you rush too much, they'll almost insta-kill you, because like I said, this is just a glass cannon. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out this showcase right now.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs. Your soul's lost. They took the henge. You've taken the mine. Your soul's lost. been lost. Spawniers return.
I've got the target.
Your enemy took the mine. The keep is yours. They took the henge. Target identified. You've taken the mine. The keep's been lost.
Target identified.
You've seized the henge. You've seized the henge.
Your soul's mine.
You've taken the mine. They took the henge. You've seized the henge. The chieftain has returned. They took the henge. The keep is yours. Your enemy took the mine.
Your soul's mine. Your soul's mine. Bring that one down.
Got the target.
Your soul's mine.
The chieftain has returned.
This is getting serious.
Your team is victorious.
It's my destiny.
Back to the fight, my friend.
Soul's mine.